Hello, my friends. Wishing you all are doing good. So, in my today's lab session, I'll tell you what all different kind of looping or conditional statement available in XSLT and how we can use if conditions using the XSLT. Let's take a scenario. Let's you have a request message and every request message may have different kind of operations and on the behalf of the operation name, if you want to perform some action, you want to customize the request message or you want to take a decision on the behalf of the operation name. So I'll cover all those things in today's topic. So before to start the session, let's have a quick recap of the last session. In the last session, what we covered, we first we created some context variable. We created XSLT file name getter setter. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are getting some constant value or static value from the configuration file like endpoint URL, username, and the password. And after that we are setting those again after that we are getting some values from the request message. These are the dynamic value like from, to, and amount. I'll show you that request message. So this is the header of that message, okay, in which we are passing the username, okay, and the password, this password, which we are reading from the configuration file and we are setting in here. And after that we are getting these values from, to, and amount. So these are dynamic value. So whatever static values we are keeping into configuration file and the dynamic value we are reading from the request message, and then we are storing those values like from, to, amount, okay, from the then we are setting all this value into context variable like username, password, from, to, amount, as of date, okay. And after that we are calling this context variable into this file. So we are whatever value we set in the context variable, okay, we are storing those value into variable. And after that we are creating the complete request message and we are populating the value of the element from the variables like username, password, and whatever value we got, whatever dynamic value we got from the message we are passing here like from, to, amount. So by this way we are constructing our request message completely, okay. After that we are just printing that message. So in today's session what we'll do, we'll learn how we'll perform the looping and some conditional statement on the behalf of the operations name. So here what I did again, let me close this one, okay. So here we have getter and setter. So in this earlier I took example of one operations, okay. Let me make some small change here. Okay, let me set. So here what I took three operations and the operation is like convert historic value, okay. Let's see the structure of this first, okay. So in this we have the common header. The header name is common in all the operation, okay. And here we have wait, okay, convert historic values, yes. So here the header is common for all operations. After that we have from, to, as of date, okay. As of date, I don't know the exact format of the date, so I will pass just random value, okay. And the amount. So for this operation we have only one new value, that is as of date, okay. and after that we have another operation, convert real time. Already we have gone through this operation. So in this we have header is common again, from, to, and amount. Okay, and let's see the third operation. The third operation, we don't have from to amount, we have just new value symbol, and symbol just will pass a dollar sign, and then we'll see what value we'll get from this symbol. Okay, so let's move to our code. So first what we'll do, we'll get the values from the static value from the configuration file. After that what we'll do, like from to amount, uh, from the operation we'll get from to amount values. And as I showed you, we have two element as of date and the symbol. So after that we'll set those values, like whatever will be the operation on behalf of that operation, automatically these values will be populated. Like for example, if we have third operation, in this we have only symbol, so it will get the value of symbol. It will not choose rest of the values, it will choose only the symbol element, and it will store that value into that symbol variable. Like if we have operation in which we have only three variables, three elements, so it will pick only three, it will not store any value into these two variables. So after that, the similar way, whatever value we'll get here, we'll set all this value into this getter and setter. Okay, so let me copy this value into that getter setter file. Okay, so I already uploaded this getter setter file. We just made a small change, so we'll update this one. Okay, now I already uploaded that file. This is looping and condition. Okay, so let's go to this XLT file. Okay, so as I told you, these web service blocks have multiple operations, but here I am taking an example of only 3 operations. Okay, so what we'll do, first we'll whatever value we set in the getter setter file, means in this file whatever value we set here, okay, in the context variable, so we'll call all the context variable here. Okay, as of date, symbol, amount. Okay, after that we are traversing a message from the root. Okay, and after that we need to get the operation name, because we'll apply the condition on the behalf of the operation name. Okay, so here what we'll do, we'll get the value of operation from the operation variable, that is service variable. Again, to get the actual operation name, we'll substring operation name after the curly braces. So here we are just printing the operation and operation name, you can skip that one. Okay, so here this is the first condition statement. We'll use here choose when. Okay, choose when. Okay, this is for first operation. After that we'll close when. Okay, again we'll start new when. That will be the for new operation. Okay, and after that we'll close this when. After that again we'll start a new when for the new operation name, that is get all cross rates of for accuracy. Okay, after that what we are doing, we are storing this this request message into a variable. After that we are just printing that we got the exact value, means we construct the message correctly, and we'll close when here. After that otherwise means, like we have a condition if and if else, like if none of the condition will not meet, so what we'll do, we'll simply print here that wrong operation name. Like for example, if backend sent the source system, the calling system pass the wrong operation name. So just will we are just printing operation name is wrong, okay, but as this is not the exact SOAP message, so in error handling I'll show you how we'll create the exact SOAP message in case of any failure. But for this lab, what I'm doing, just I'll print a simple logs into our system logs that the operation name doesn't match. Okay, so let's go to first condition. The first condition is choose. We'll start with a tag choose. Okay, and here we'll start with when. Here we'll like we are using if statement, if conditional statement like test. So here we are just using a variable. Okay, you can create any name, like we are testing here, and it will return a boolean value to test. Okay, if it will true, it will go to this loop, otherwise it will check the next when loop. Okay, it will check the next condition. So here operation name, we'll check if the operation name is this one. Okay, so we'll create a variable here, convert real time. Okay, so and here we are again populating the header value with the static values which we have in our context variable now. And here we'll pass this value of, again we are populating this value with the help of context variable. And here we'll store or the complete request message into that variable, and here I will print the request message just to make sure we created the exact or correct request message. Okay, if our first condition will not match, or if the first condition will return you false, then we'll check with the next operation name. Actually sometime like here we are just populating the values like from to as of date amount. Sometime on the behalf of operation name, like you need to concat two values, or you need to substring any values, or you need to mask, like if you are using credit card and on the behalf of the operation name you need to mask any values. So you can perform any kind of customization of the message on the behalf of the operation name. Okay, here we are not using any complex thing, like we are just simply populating the request message on the behalf of the operation name. Okay, so in the third operation, again what we are doing, if it will not match, then we are checking the again a third condition, like if the operation name is this one. So here again we are populating username and the password, and here we are using we are populating symbol with the value whatever we received in the context variable. Okay, so after that we are just printing the request messages to make sure that the message is constructed well. And after that, if none of the condition will not match, then we are using otherwise tag. Okay, you can print anything here, like just for this I am just printing a wrong operation name, or in otherwise here you can do any customization of the request message. It depends upon your use case. Like if you want to print a valid response, so you can mention here, so that that the source system will get the correct response. Okay, but here I am just printing the value into logs. Okay, so let's go to web service proxy, and we'll upload this already I have uploaded the XSLT, this getter setter value, and that looping and conditions. Okay, so let's go to our web service proxy. Okay, go to policy, and here we'll go to service and processing rule. We need to check here first in first XSLT what we are doing, we are just generic message logging. For request response we have common logging mechanism. After that we have that getter setter value. Okay, I showed you that XSLT file, and after that we have that looping end conditions. Okay, I have already uploaded that file. So let's see what we'll get when we'll run that, when we'll execute this WSP. Okay, so let's come here. Okay, so let's start with the convert historic value. Okay, here we have values. Okay, so actually I don't know what are the exact values here, but I'm just passing send image value. So see the response. Okay, so we got some response from the backend system, and let's see what we got in our logs. Okay, so here we are in the getter setter. Okay, for the time being you can ignore these things, because there is no issue in our XSLT and we are getting the intended response. So here we can see the operation name is operation convert historic value, the same operation name which you are passing here. This is the convert historic values. Okay, so the same operation name we can see here. Operation name is this one. Okay, and after that we are constructing the message. So what we'll do, we'll copy this. Okay, our notepad. Okay, so here we can see the as of date is this one. Okay, whatever we passed in our request message, and we can see the from value and the from to value. This is to value and this is our from value. So we can say that our message is constructed well. So for this operation, whatever we are mentioning here, that this is for first operation. See here. So here what this, so as per the operation name, this condition first, what happened, it checked the operation name here. So here it got the false, means the operation name doesn't match what we passed in our request message. So after that it went to this condition, and here he found that yes, that is the operation name, and it executed this part, means the username and the password, and the from to as of date and amount. Okay, so we can see here, and we got some response from the backend system. Okay, so let's see what we got in the next message. If we'll, okay, here like convert real time we have already seen. So, okay, let's try one more time so that we'll make sure that our looping is working fine. So here we have UST, like we will pass here SAR to UST. Okay, just to make sure that this operation is also called successfully. Okay, we are just getting dummies values here. So but here we'll check that our request message passed successfully. Okay, let's copy this one. Okay, replace this value. Okay, so here we can see that username, whatever we mentioned of configuration file. Okay, and I'll do one more thing. Okay, here we can see here that this is our final message. Okay, which we will send to our backend system, and this is the username whatever we have in our configuration file. Okay, and this is the password, and after that we passed, see here the from value is SAR and to value is USD, and the amount is 100. Whatever value we passed here, like SAR USD, we can see that we created the request message successfully. After that, let's check one more operation. Okay, and this is get all cross rates for a currency. Okay, so here we have this dollar symbol. Okay, let's see what we'll get here. So we got that dollar belongs to USD. We can see here. So here this dollar sign belong to USD. Okay, so let's see in the logs as well. So here that we could get all cross rates for a currency. Okay, and let's copy this request message. Okay. So here this is the username and the password, and we can see this is the dollar sign, dollar symbol we passed, and we got the response. So friends, so we saw here that how we can use a conditional statement and the if statement. We are like in the first we need to mention the tag choose. Okay, so in the choose we need to mention a when, and here we need to pass like we are doing if condition. Similar way we'll compare the operation name with our operation name. This is we are doing hard code here just to make sure that operation name is equal to this one. So after that we have another operations. Okay, this one operation 2, operation 3, and let's see what will happen if we'll pass the operation. For that we didn't customize the request message. Let's see what we'll get for that. Okay, so here let's see we have get chart design. Okay, we don't have any customization for this one. Okay, so here we don't need to pass any values. Okay, just simply run this. Okay, and we didn't get any response because for response message it's not passing to the backend system. It's just uh, means it didn't went to the backend system, and we got because here it didn't match and it didn't go to the backend system. So what happened, it will come to here otherwise. Okay, otherwise, and here let's see what we'll get into our system logs. Okay, so this is our system logs. So here we found that wrong operation name, and we didn't get any response from the backend system because you can see the response is blank here. Okay, see transaction type is response, that is the service name, operation name is get chart design. Okay, did we get any message? No, we didn't get. See, the message is blank, means the request didn't pass through the data power, and on the behalf of the operation name we just simply get the wrong operation name. Okay, whatever we mentioned here, wrong operation name. Okay, so friends, in next video, okay, I'll try like see, you can see that here the header is common for all the operations. Okay, this header name is common, but in every message we are while constructing the new request message we are passing this one. So I'll do one thing, I'll try to make a video on template, means how we can create a template and how we'll call those template. So in next video I'll try to cover this topic. So friends, hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please subscribe it, and don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you will get the notification of newly uploaded videos. And meanwhile friends, keep watching all the videos, and as I'm mentioning in every videos, better to go to W3 schools or any site from where you can get a knowledge of XSLT. So and it will help you to write a smart code, means you will get a good knowledge of XSLT and you can implement in your coding. So friends, keep doing exercise, stay healthy. Thank you friends.